Hey guys, I wanted to cover something and share something that I just saw. It was a radio show out of Florida, WMMB, and it's interesting because the Florida Carry guys and Michael Taylor specifically, they're out there doing good stuff. They're doing what we were doing back in 2013. They're out there, they're talking to people, and they're exercising their Second Amendment rights the way they should. They're engaged in conversation. Michael is out there talking to people on the streets, explaining exactly why he's doing something. And then you've got these douchebag, so-called conservative, gun-loving, gun rights people who go and say just the dumbest things. Why? Because they're brainwashed. Because they don't do anything for the cause. They don't do anything for liberty other than yap their gabs. And so when people do take a stand and people actually stand up for rights and do something, just because these douchebags won't go out there and do them themselves because they'd just rather sit behind a microphone and Monday morning quarterback everybody, they just want to talk stupid stuff. So I'm going to play this, and let's talk a little bit about it.
Like Victor Lyle told you, it's 321-768-1240 to get your thoughts in play here.
Now, remember that number because we're going to want you to call this later. Okay, this is Bill Mick. But we're going to want you to call maybe next Wednesday or during another show if you can, and just professionally explain to this guy how wrong he is. But here we go.
Headline at BillMick.com is Wide Open Wednesday, making a point, hurting the cause. And
here it comes.
Just because you can do something doesn't mean that you should. And
why not? Why not? If you can do something and it doesn't hurt anybody, it doesn't threaten anybody, it doesn't infringe on someone else's rights, it doesn't rob them of their freedom, their liberty, their ability to be happy, why not? Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Why not? If nobody's hurt, why not do something? If it's legal and you can, why not do it? If you don't do it, you run the risk of not being able to do it because it becomes restricted. Let's continue.
Especially if what you're doing is a stunt to make a point.
Well, okay. So how do you make a point? I'm just going to go on. This will be a 1 hour long video if I keep stopping it like this.
You discredit yourself, you discredit other legitimate people, and we had it happen on a Melbourne beach this week.
Oh,
yesterday,
please tell us how people were discredited.
When was this?
Let's hear it. How exactly did these people discredit themselves and others?
But let's get you going there. 3 men, J.D. Gallup writing for Florida Today. 3 men spotted strolling with AR-15s slung around their necks in Melbourne Beach were briefly questioned by police before it was determined that they were going out to fish. An officer spotted them. They had their fishing poles and were carrying a flag that said, "Don't tread on me." That's according to Police Chief Melanie Griswold.
By the way, for Chief Griswold out there, that quote, "Don't tread on me" flag, it's called the Gadsden flag. It's a historical flag. You should probably educate yourself. Instead of trying to scare the public about what the flag says, maybe you should say what the flag is, which is the Gadsden flag. Ugh.
Happened about noon Tuesday near the intersection of Ocean Avenue and Atlantic Street. Now, we will note for you in this story that it is legal for anybody fishing, camping, or hunting to openly carry a firearm.
That's right.
Similar episodes, interesting here, similar episodes with open carry or Second Amendment gun advocates have taken place across the nation in recent years. Law enforcement often called to investigate when people are seen carrying guns around openly.
Why? Why? It's perfectly legal. If I called the police and told the police, hey, there's somebody out here playing tennis, are the police going to come investigate someone playing tennis? Hey, there's someone out here walking their dog. Are they going to go and investigate someone walking their dog? Because open carry, where legal, is no less legal than walking a dog. Hey, there's a guy driving a car down the road. Will you guys investigate that? He looks scary. You think the police are going to investigate that? Coda, come here. Sorry, I got my dog out here in the park. Come here. I'm doing this on a phone very janky because I'm not home right now. Coda, come here. All right, let's continue.
And if it's a carry for legitimate purpose, it's perfectly fine.
And what they were doing, Bill, Mick, was a legitimate
It's
purpose.
legal for carry even if the purpose is not legitimate. But if this act is staged for attention or just to make a point, I'm sorry, fellas, it's stupid.
Why?
You discredit yourself, you
How?
discredit your organization,
How?
and you discredit Second Amendment advocates
How?
across the country
How?
because you got to make a stupid point that, yeah, I can carry an AR-15 if I want to.
And what's the problem?
I understand it's going to tick some of you off in the audience. But stop being stupid.
What's stupid about it? Come on, Bill, tell us. What is stupid
If you were out
about
there
it?
legitimately doing what you claimed to have been doing just so you could show that you could carry a firearm, it would have been a different story. It's just interesting that that's not what happens. Often, these gun advocacy groups conduct themselves in a manner unbecoming of reasonable people.
Yeah, how is that, Bill?
They push things in Tallahassee that are not smart. They
How?
act
Like
in
what?
Tallahassee in ways that are not smart.
Like what? Come
And
on.
then they pull stunts like this. Oh, and yes, this was a stunt.
Be specific, Bill. Exactly
We'll get you to
what?
that in a moment. You want to weigh in? It's 321-768-1240. Oh,
Listen, here's the problem. This is the deal. This is the things that Bill and his fellow Fudds will never get. There is a legitimate purpose for doing that. First of all, it's called the Second Amendment. There's nothing more legitimate than the Second Amendment. All right? That's the purpose. That's the reason for it. Okay, but beyond that, there are other reasons. But you think Bill tried to reach out and call some of these individuals? You think they reached out and tried to call Florida Carry and goes, hey, man, we're going to talk about this on the show. I'd like you to come on and talk about what the hell were you guys thinking? No. Bill didn't do that. Why? Because Bill's a Fudd. Bill's one of the people who have done absolutely nothing for liberty because they've done nothing but sit on their fat ass behind a microphone and cast judgment on other people who are actually fighting the fight. This wasn't a discussion in Florida until Florida Carry made it a discussion. The same thing here in Texas. This wasn't a discussion here in Texas until Open Carry Texas made it a discussion. And how did they do that? Because they went out there and engaged in, quote, stunts. Yes, the whole point of these things is to draw attention. That's what an activist does, is he draws attention to his cause. This cause is the Second Amendment. I'm sorry that Bill doesn't understand the Second Amendment, can't comprehend what freedom looks like, and doesn't have the balls or the decency to even talk to the people involved. Instead, from the comfort of his microphone, sitting on his fat ass behind a board, a soundboard, decides he's going to talk crap and Monday morning quarterback these guys and put narratives into their minds, into their heads that they weren't there for. But Bill doesn't do that. See, Bill doesn't do that.
Galley Electric making this hour.
All right, so I'm not going to go there. I want to show you something else. This is what Bill does not talk about on his show. Let me see if I can pull his story up here. Here it is. So this is the Florida Today article that Bill there is reading from. I believe this is the one. 3 men fishing, walking with rifles, say "Don't tread on me" in Melbourne Beach. Right? Look at this great. Look, euros for what? Cocaine or something? I don't know. But anyway, he reads this right here. Now, what's interesting is, you go down to this story. An officer spotted them. This is the police chief. An officer spotted them. They had their fishing poles and were carrying a flag that said, "Don't tread on me." I mean, the Melbourne police chief isn't even intelligent enough to know what that historical flag is. But I want to bring something up that is really interesting here, because this really says, oops, did I pass it? I did pass it. There it is right here. Look at this. It's a small town, so it raises eyebrows, Griswold said of the incident. We watched them walk down the beach and plant their flag. Nobody paid much attention to them. Wait a minute. I thought it was a small town, and it raised eyebrows. And you just said that nobody paid much attention to them. Here's a bunch of guys walking around with AR-15s. So who made this into an issue? Who made it into an issue? The police made it into an issue. And then you've got dumbasses like Bill there who are further making it an issue. He didn't read all the way down to the last paragraph. Nobody paid attention to them. Well, heck, I guess it's not much of a stunt then, is it? If nobody paid much attention to them. Besides the police. And why are the police getting involved in perfectly legal activities? But I think this last paragraph here says everything anyone needs to know about the good that Florida Carry is doing. Because if you watch the video, go to, there's a YouTube channel, Solo Yaker, Soloyaker. That's Michael Taylor of Florida Carry. That's his personal YouTube channel. Please subscribe to that. But you go to the Solo Yaker YouTube channel and watch the video. The police are out there and know that he's going fishing, say that what they're doing is perfectly legal. The police are the only ones that make an issue out of this. And the police, by the way, try to take their lawfully possessed and carried firearms from them, despite the fact that they knew it was legal, except for one officer who needs an education. So the only people that were paying much attention, apparently, were the cops out there. In Griswold. Or, I'm sorry, not in Griswold. That's the name of the chief. In Melbourne Beach. But I wanted to bring this up, folks, because this idea of just because you can doesn't mean you should. Coda, get over here. Get over here. My dog's running off. Well, it's my daughter's dog. What a great video, huh? Yelling. Anyway, I'm kind of recording this live. This is the best way I can do it while I'm on the road. But these people that go out there saying just because you can doesn't mean you should. Yes, if you can exercise your rights, you should exercise your rights. Coda, come here. If you don't exercise your rights, you're going to lose your rights. All right, my dog's getting a little antsy, so I'm gonna let this go. I wanted to play that video. If you're in Florida, please call this guy during his show tomorrow, or at least call next Wednesday during his open line Wednesday or whatever he calls it. And let him know what you think. Let him know that, look, force him to explain exactly what he didn't like about this thing. How exactly were they acting, as he said in Tallahassee, that he finds so egregious? Exactly what are they pushing for in Tallahassee that Bill finds so egregious? It's easy to say, oh, these people were acting like nincompoops and fools, and they were doing this and they were doing that. It's very easy to say they were acting like this and acting like that. But ask Bill when you call him, exactly how were they acting that you would describe them in the way that you described them? And put this guy on notice. All right, guys, take care. Be safe. Be free.